Lecture I'm going to introduce representation of integers. In everyday life we use decimal notation to express integers. For example, 961 can be written as 900 plus 60 plus 1. So this can be written as 9 into 10 square, 6 into 10 power 1 plus 1 into 10 power 0. Therefore, this representation is called decimal expansion with base 10. In fact, we can use any integer greater than 1 as the base when expressing the integer. So this is stated in the theorem. Have the following theorem. Let b an integer greater than 1. Then if n is positive integer, it can be expressed uniquely in the form n is equal to ak into b power k plus a power ak minus 1 into b power k minus 1 and so on a1 into b naught plus a naught, where k is a positive integer, where a naught, a1, a2 and so on ak are the non-negative integers always less than b, where ak is not equal to 0. So this theorem is called a base b expansion, is called base b expansion of integer n. For example, we can observe that n is equal to 961 can be written as decimal expansion. Expansion is denoted by ak, ak minus 1 and so on a1 into a naught with base b. For example, 245 with base 8 represents 2 into 8 square plus 4 into 8 power 1 plus 5 into 8 power 0. So this expansion is called octal representation. Let me take another example. Let us choose a digit 1011 with base 2. So you can observe that these digits are less than 2, so we can expand it by using the base 2. So this can be written as 1 into 2 cube plus 0 into 2 square plus 1 into 2 power 1 plus 1 into 2 power 0. So this representation is called binary representation with base 2. So let us take another example, 3596 with base 10. So this can be written as a decimal expansion, so that is 3 into 10 cube plus 5 into 10 square plus 9 into 10 power 1 plus 6 into 10 power 0. So this can be written 3 into 10 cube is 1000, 3000 plus 5 into 100, 500 plus 9 into 10, 90 plus 6. So 3596 with base 10 can be written as, can be expanded 3 into 10 cube plus 5 into 10 square plus 9 into 10 power 1 plus 6 into 10 power 0. The problem. So convert the number 156 into binary system. So let us move to the solution. So first we divide the number 156 by 2. We get by using division algorithm 156 can be written as 2 into 78 plus 0. It divide the integer 78 by 2 by applying the division algorithm. Then we have 78 can be written as 2 into 39 plus 0. So let us divide the integer 39 by 2. 39 can be written as 2 into 19 plus 1. So 19 can be written as 2 into 9 plus 1. So 9 can be written as 2 into 4 plus 1. Again 4 can be written as 2 into 2 plus 0. So 2 can be written as 2 into 1 plus 0. Again 1 can be written as 2 into 0 plus 1. So now let us read the remainder from the bottom to the top here. So therefore 156 can be written in the form of binary numbers. So that is, last remainder is 1 1 0 0 1 1 1, then 0 0. So this is the binary representation of number 156. Let us define the decimal representation of the two positive integer. Let n be a positive integer, then n can be written as decimal expansion, that is am into 10 power m plus am minus 1 into 10 to the power of m minus 1 plus and so on, plus a1 into 10 power 1 plus a naught into 10 power 0. So this can be written as summation of k is equal to 0 to m ak into 10 power k is called the decimal expansion of the positive integer n. A note: a polynomial p of x can be written using the above result or above sum by replacing 10 by x. That is, we can write, so p of x is equal to am into x power m plus am minus 1 into x power m minus 1 and so on, plus a1 into x plus a naught. Theorem: let p of x, that is sum of k is equal to 0 to m, ck into x power k be a polynomial function of degree k with integral coefficients ck, where ck are the integers. If a is congruent to b modulo n, then you have to prove that p of a is congruent to p of b modulo n. So where p of a is a polynomial function value at x equal to a, and p of b is a polynomial value at x equal to b. Let us move to the proof here. Given polynomial p of x, so that is equal to sum of k is equal to 0 to m ck into x power k. So this is equal to, when k is 0, c naught, when k is 1, c1 into x power, and so on. When k is m, cm into x power m. So here a is congruent to b modulo n. We have a is congruent to b modulo n. So this implies even c naught into a is congruent to c naught into b modulo n also. We know that since a is congruent to b modulo n, then ac is congruent to bc modulo n also. So therefore you can write, if a is congruent to b modulo n, so then we can write c naught into a is congruent to c naught into b modulo n. So also we can write c1 a is congruent to c1 b modulo n also. Even c2 a square is congruent to c2 b square modulo n also. Similarly, we can write ck into b power k is a power k is congruent to ck into b power k modulo n. Since we can observe that if a is congruent to b modulo n, so then a power k is congruent to b power k modulo n also. So using this result, we can write ck into a power k is congruent to ck into b power k modulo n. This implies ck into a power k is congruent to ck into b power k modulo n for k is equal to 0, 1, 2, m. When k is 0, that is c naught into a power 0, that is 1, c naught is congruent to c naught modulo n also. So therefore adding the above results with when k is equal to 0, so therefore we get sum of k is equal to 0 to m ck into a power k is congruent to sum of k is equal to 0 to m ck into b power k modulo n. This implies so this can be written as sum of k is equal to 0 to m ck into a power k can be written as p of a is congruent to, so this can be written as p of b is congruent to p of b modulo n. Here p of a is equal to c naught into a power 0 plus c1 into a power 1 and so on plus cm into a power n. Similarly, p of b So that is equal to C0 into B power 0 plus C1 into B power 1 and so on plus Cn into B power n. Corollary, if A is a solution of P of x is congruent to 0 modulo n, and if A is congruent to B modulo n, then to prove that B is also a solution of P of x is congruent to 0 modulo n. So let us move to the proof. A is congruent to B modulo n. So by using previous theorem, then we can write P of A is also congruent to P of B modulo n. Suppose if A is a solution of congruence, P of x is congruent to 0 modulo n, so then we can write, then we take x equal to A, so then P of A is congruent to 0 modulo n. So now so P of A is congruent to P of B modulo n. Since congruence is symmetry, so then we can write P of B is congruent to P of A modulo n. And we know that P of A is congruent to 0 modulo n. So by using transitive relation, if P of B is congruent to P of A modulo n and P of A is congruent to 0 modulo n, then we can write so P of B is congruent to 0 modulo n. So this implies B is a solution of P of x is congruent to 0 modulo n also. Example, convert the number 1011001 into decimal system. So given 1011001 with base 2, so that can be written in terms of decimal form. So we can expand it with the base 2, so that is 1 into 2 power 6 plus 0 into 2 power 5 plus 1 into 2 power 4 plus 1 into 2 cube plus 0 into 2 power 0 plus 0 into 2 square plus 0 into 2 power 1 plus 1 into 2 power 0. So this can be written as, so 2 power 6 is 64 plus 0 into 2 power 5 is 0 plus 1 into 2 power 4 that is 16 plus 1 into 2 cube that is 8 plus 0 into 2 square 0 plus 0 into 2 that is 0 plus 1. So this is equal to 64 plus 16 plus 8 plus 1, so that is 18. So therefore 10110001 with binary system, so that is equal to 89, that is in the form of decimal